Zach, I was thinking about something on my way here today. We hear people say, be a good man all the time, but nobody really explains what that actually means in real life. Not in movies, not in quotes on Instagram, but like when you wake up on a random Tuesday and you still have to be decent. What do you think a good man really is?
That's a heavy question to start the day, Lucy. Honestly, when I was younger, I thought being a good man meant being strong, having money, being respected, the classic stuff. But the older I get, the more I realize it's not about looking good on the outside. It's about what you do when no one's watching, like how you treat people who can't give you anything back.
That reminds me of an old saying my dad used to tell me. Character is who you are when the lights are off. I didn't really get it back then. I thought he was just being dramatic. But now I totally see it. Being a good man isn't about big speeches. It's about the small, boring choices you make every day.
Exactly. And let's be real, nobody is perfect. A good man still messes up. He still loses his temper, still makes bad calls. The difference is he owns it. He doesn't point fingers or play the victim. He says, yeah, that one's on me, and tries to do better next time.
I like that you said owns it. Accountability is such an underrated quality. I've met people who are charming, smart, successful, but the moment something goes wrong, they dodge responsibility like it's the plague. That's a huge red flag for me.
Same here. I had a friend years ago, great guy on the surface, funny, confident, always the life of the party. But whenever he hurt someone, especially in relationships, he'd say things like, that's just how I am, or she's too sensitive. Over time, I realized that was just an excuse to avoid growing up.
Oof, I've heard that line way too many times. That's just how I am. It's like saying, I refuse to change, deal with it. A good man, in my opinion, is willing to grow. He's not stuck in his ego.
True, growth is uncomfortable. Nobody likes being told they're wrong, but being a good man means you're open to feedback, even when it stings a little, especially when it comes from people you care about.
Let me ask you something personal then. Was there a moment in your life when you realized, okay, I need to be better than this?
Yeah, actually, there was. A few years back, I was in a relationship where I thought I was doing everything right. I worked hard, paid bills, showed up physically, but emotionally, I was checked out. My partner kept saying she felt alone even when we were together. I brushed it off, thought she was overreacting. One day she said, you're here, but you're not present. That hit me like a truck.
Wow, that's powerful. Sometimes the truth hurts, but it also wakes you up.
Exactly. After that relationship ended, I had to sit with myself. No distractions, no excuses. I realized being a good man isn't just about providing or protecting. It's about listening, really listening, not just waiting for your turn to talk.
That's such a big one. Listening is an art, and honestly, it applies everywhere, not just romantic relationships. A good man listens to his friends, his family, even strangers. He doesn't think he knows it all.
Right, and speaking of family, I learned a lot just by watching my grandfather. He wasn't rich, he wasn't famous, but he showed up every single day. For his wife, for his kids, for the community. He kept his word. If he promised something, it was as good as done.
Keeping your word, that's rare these days. People promise big things when they're emotional, then disappear when it's time to deliver. I think integrity is a cornerstone of being a good man.
Absolutely. Integrity means your actions line up with your words, even when it costs you something, especially then.
Let's talk about kindness for a second. Some people confuse kindness with weakness, especially when it comes to men. What's your take on that?
I hate that mindset. Kindness isn't weakness. It takes strength to be kind in a world that's rough. A good man doesn't need to dominate or intimidate to feel powerful. He's secure enough to be gentle.
Yes, and kindness doesn't mean being a pushover either. You can be kind and still have boundaries. You can say no without being cruel.
Exactly. Boundaries are healthy. A good man respects other people's boundaries and also protects his own. He doesn't guilt trip, manipulate, or pressure people to get his way.
This might sound simple, but I think respect is at the heart of everything. Respect for women, respect for other men, respect for himself. Without self-respect, it's hard to genuinely respect anyone else.
That's so true. I've seen guys who treat others poorly because deep down they don't even like themselves. Being a good man starts with self-awareness, knowing your flaws, your triggers, your insecurities.
And doing the work, right? Therapy, reflection, journaling, tough conversations, whatever helps you grow. It's not glamorous, but it matters.
Yeah, nobody posts about the inner work on social media, but that's where real change happens. Being a good man isn't about being perfect, it's about being intentional.
Intentional, that's a great word to end on. Choosing honesty over convenience, choosing empathy over ego, choosing to be better one day at a time.
And some days you'll fail, but you don't throw in the towel. You get back up, dust yourself off, and try again. That, to me, is what being a good man is all about.
You know what I like about what you just said, Zach? That idea of getting back up. Because, let's be honest, nobody wakes up one day and suddenly becomes a good man. It's messy. It's trial and error. Sometimes you think you've figured it out, then life humbles you real quick.
Oh, yeah. Life has a way of keeping you in check. The moment you think, I've got this, boom, something happens and reminds you you're still a work in progress.
Exactly. I've seen men who genuinely want to be good, but they're stuck between expectations. Society tells them, be strong, don't cry. Relationships tell them, be open, be emotional. It's confusing.
It really is. I used to think showing emotions meant losing control. Like, if I cried or admitted I was scared, people would see me as weak. But over time, I realized bottling things up only makes you explode later. A good man knows how to express emotions without letting them control them.
That's such an important distinction. Emotional intelligence isn't about crying all the time. It's about understanding what you feel and why, and then choosing how to respond, not just reacting.
Right. I remember one time at work, my boss criticized a project I spent weeks on. Old me would have gotten defensive, maybe snapped back, but instead, I took a breath and asked questions. Turns out he wasn't attacking me, he just wanted better results. That moment taught me that maturity often sounds quiet, not loud.
That's a good lesson. A good man doesn't always need to win arguments. Sometimes he chooses peace over pride.
Pride is tricky. It sneaks up on you. You think you're protecting your dignity, but really you're just protecting your ego.
So true. Let's talk about relationships a bit more. In your opinion, what makes a man truly good in love? Not just at the beginning, but long term.
Consistency. Anyone can be amazing during the honeymoon phase. Flowers, sweet words, grand gestures, but real love shows up on boring days, when you're tired, when you disagree. A good man doesn't disappear when things get hard.
Yes, staying when it's uncomfortable, communicating instead of ghosting. That alone would solve so many modern dating problems.
Ghosting is the easy way out. A good man faces uncomfortable conversations. He doesn't leave people guessing. Even if it's hard, he gives clarity.
Clarity is kindness. I stand by that. Being honest, even when the truth isn't pretty, is far better than silence.
And honesty also applies to himself. A good man knows when he's not ready for commitment. He doesn't lead people on just because he's lonely.
That's rare, but so necessary. Self-control is another quality people don't talk about enough. Knowing when to say no to temptation, to shortcuts, to things that might hurt others.
Yeah, discipline isn't sexy, but it's powerful. Whether it's controlling anger, staying loyal, or choosing long-term growth over short-term pleasure, a good man plays the long game.
I love that phrase, plays the long game. It applies to everything: career, health, relationships, character.
Speaking of health, I think taking care of yourself is also part of being a good man, not just physically, but mentally. You can't pour from an empty cup.
Absolutely. I've seen men burn themselves out trying to be everything for everyone, then snap because they never took care of their own needs. A good man knows rest is not laziness.
Rest is maintenance, just like you wouldn't drive a car forever without stopping for fuel. Same goes for humans.
let's touch on another sensitive topic: how a good man treats people who are below him in status, service workers, employees, strangers online.
That's one of the biggest indicators of character. If someone is polite to their boss but rude to a waiter, that's a problem. A good man treats everyone with basic human decency, regardless of what they can offer him.
Yes, respect shouldn't be conditional, and kindness costs nothing.
I once heard someone say, "Watch how a person behaves when they have power." That stuck with me.
Power reveals who you really are, and power doesn't have to be big. It can be as simple as being older, stronger, richer, or more experienced. A good man never uses power to intimidate.
Instead, he protects, he supports, he lifts others up.
Let's be honest, though. Being a good man today is harder than ever. Social media, constant comparison, pressure to perform. Everyone's watching, judging.
Yeah, it's easy to lose yourself chasing validation, likes, followers, approval, but a good man doesn't build his identity on external applause.
He knows who he is even when nobody's clapping.
Exactly, and that inner compass guides his decisions, not trends, not peer pressure.
If a young man were listening to this podcast right now and asked, "Where do I start?" what would you tell him?
I'd say, start small, keep your word, apologize when you're wrong, listen more than you speak, treat people kindly, work on yourself every day. You don't need to be perfect, just be honest and consistent.
That's solid advice. I'd add this: surround yourself with people who call you out, not just hype you up. Growth needs honesty.
Absolutely. Real friends don't just cheer, they challenge you.
At the end of the day, being a good man isn't about labels. It's about actions. It's about choices you make when it's easy to do the wrong thing.
And choosing the harder right over the easier wrong.
That's a beautiful way to put it.
You know, Lucy, talking about this makes me realize something. Being a good man isn't a destination, it's a direction.
I love that. A direction, not a finish line.
As long as you're moving in the right direction, learning, growing, owning your mistakes, you're on the right path.
And if you stumble?
You get back up. You don't quit. You don't let one bad chapter define the whole story.
That's such a strong note to end on. Growth, humility, kindness, responsibility. Not flashy, but real.
Real beats perfect any day.
To everyone listening, whether you're a man trying to be better or someone learning what to look for, remember this: goodness shows in daily actions, not big promises.
And becoming a good man starts with one simple choice today: to be better than yesterday.
That's it for today's conversation. Thanks for being honest, Zach.
Thanks for the deep questions, Lucy. These talks keep me grounded.
And to our listeners, keep learning, keep growing, and keep leveling up.
See you next time.